Hello everybody, welcome back to my top 50 favorite films of all time, part 3, mind you. I know I said I was going to do it day after day after day, but the problem was that I got really exhausted the past few days, and I don't want to supply a video where I'm not interested. And that kind of came off in part 2, unfortunately. Part 2, I was very tired, I was exhausted, I did a lot of work, I was crashing. And I kind of woke up early that day, so I didn't feel it was fair for everyone else for me to be that exhausted while I'm trying to do a video. Now I have a bit more energy, not too much, but enough that I know that I can do a very solid video right now. I was going to do a video about Kung Fury, but I don't think I really need to say much about it. There's already been enough of reviews about it. Maybe when I'm done with this collection, I'll do a video about that. But for right now, I'm just going to work on this. And I might take a few sips of my water throughout this video as well. It's very hot in this house, and gotta stay hydrated. Alright. We're in the top 30s now, people. And we're going to start this list out right with the film Dark City. This is probably one of the most underrated films ever made. It is a really good mind trip. I like the back. I can teach you to control your power consciously. Let me help you, John. Together we can stop them. We can take this city back. It's a very surreal film, made by the guy who made The Crow. Doesn't feel like The Crow, but it has the essence. It feels enough like The Crow, but doesn't feel like a copy of The Crow, because it's a completely different story for one thing. It does have its own style, its own feel, but it does feel a little bit like The Crow, just from how the director is. And obviously I like The Crow more than this, you'll see that later on in this video. But Dark City, like I said, this is one of those very underrated films. I don't want to say much about the plot, because I feel as though if I talk about the plot too much, I'll give too much away. And this whole movie has to unfold while watching it. It's better that way, trust me. That's probably why they don't give a lot of plot details on the back. They might on the actual DVD. Yeah, they give a more plot details on the back of the actual DVD, but don't read the DVD, just watch the movie and let it unfold before you. It's fantastic, I promise. Next, this is one of the most brutal films I have, and one of my favorite films because of that reason. And it is Battle Royale. Yes, Battle Royale. This is a brutal, brutal, harsh film, but it's also one of my favorites. The reason behind that is because I was young when I saw this. I was in high school when I first saw this, and it blew my mind. Everything about it just functioned well, worked well. This is the Hunger Games done perfectly. It's, as it says on the back, it's a modern-day masterpiece. Quentin Tarantino says he wished he made this movie. And you know what? I wish I made this movie too. The book, I haven't finished reading the book. I got the book back in high school also, but I never finished reading it. It's a very long book. It's like this thick. But there's a lot to it, and there's a lot to this movie. It's not a short film. It's about 2 hours. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the commonplace for a film now, but back then this was a longer film. The ending drags on a little bit. If anyone's seen the movie, they know what I mean by the very end of the movie. It's kind of just an emotional moment. But throughout the whole movie, when everyone's just getting brutally killed off one by one, it's more terrifying than any slasher film ever. And it's not just because they're kids, it's because just the suspense and the horror and the realism of it all is unbelievable. Yeah, there's some gore in it that's obviously spray, but it is a brutal, harsh film, and I cannot recommend this movie enough to anyone. This is a phenomenal film, and it may not be for everybody, but it's still a film that needs to be watched. I originally had a bootleg kind of copy of this, but this is the official United States release. Next. Ooh, man, this is one of my... This is the best werewolf movie ever. I don't care what anyone says. It's got horror, it's got comedy, it's got everything a horror comedy needs. I almost said horror film. It has everything a horror film needs, that's for sure. But also has everything a comedy needs as well. It is the perfect blend of horror and comedy, and it is American Werewolf in London, that's right. The best werewolf movie of all time. Some people might say The Wolfman, but I say this. It is just the perfect blend. Surreal, atmospheric, fun, entertaining, humorous, bloody, suspenseful. Those are just few words I can describe this movie. This movie, without a doubt, is the quintessential werewolf film. It is the quintessential Halloween film. You know, I don't know why I didn't watch this Halloween, because it's wonderful. And everything about this just builds up to this fantastic thing. And the werewolf transformation scene, just the bone snapping and everything that's so weird with this movie, it is such a visual treat to see that one transformation scene. That's not the whole movie, mind you. The whole movie isn't just that transformation scene. The whole movie is this wonderful, fun ride throughout the beginning to end. And I like how it went for a darker ending. Spoilers. It didn't match the comedic tone, but you know, sometimes you just have to have a movie that doesn't end well for everybody. Next, we're going to go for a bit of a more lighthearted film. It's Men in Black. Yes, Men in Black. This is Will Smith's best film. I know a lot of people already say that. But wow, Men in Black, this is fantastic. Unfortunately, the sequels weren't as good. I haven't even seen Men in Black 3. I just know it's not as good because the first one was such a phenomenal masterpiece of its kind. It is the quintessential sci-fi comedy. It just works. The chemistry between these two is one of the best chemistries on screen. And the effects are wonderful. The characters are wonderful. The villain is cool. He's, well, one-dimensional villain. I mean, he's a bug, but he's still a lot of fun to watch. He's over the top. He's aggressive. He's the perfect villain for this type of film. It's a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a film that has a lot of fun with itself. And I just remembered that in my top 10 favorite comic book films, I should have put this in here because this is a comic book film. It doesn't have much to do with the comic based on, like, Jay in the comic is white, I think. I never read their comic, but from what I understand, I think that's what they said. And they don't use the flashing things, they actually kill the people, but it works better as a film. Just the description alone, I like the film better. Alright, people. Everyone likes Alfred Hitchcock. If you don't like Alfred Hitchcock, I don't know what's wrong with you. Alfred Hitchcock, he's one of the greatest directors of all time. Hands down, one of the best. He is the perfect director. Almost all of his movies are solid gold. Like Psycho, Vertigo, North by Northwest, Rebecca, The Man Who Knew Too Much. Crap, I almost said that movie wrong, but I'm going to ignore that one because it almost sounds stupid. They're all such wonderful masterpieces. He knows his craft. He knows what to do. His show, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, don't even get me started on that. That was wonderful. Some of those episodes are public domain too, and you know what? The public domain ones are really good. A lot of his movies now are public domain also. You can get those packs of like 50 Alfred Hitchcock movies for like $5 now at Walmart. And you know what? They're all really solid. For public domain movies, they're great. He has the best selection of public domain films aside from another one that's on this list. But I'm not here to talk about it here. I'm here to talk about my favorite movie of all time by him. And it is Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window. This is the one I have the most fun with. It doesn't move a lot. It's just in that one room. But James Stewart, James Stewart in his role is just wonderful. He has a lot of fun with his character. The villain is a lot of fun. His girlfriend's a lot of fun. She's on the back. Just the whole idea of it. It's a very suspenseful film. I saw this in high school and it's freaked me out. It's not scary, but it has just great suspense from start to finish. Pardon me. And it's entertaining as all get out. People, this is my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie. It may not be his best. I know that Vertigo is considered to be his best film of all time, but I think this one had a happier feel to it. And sometimes you just need a thriller film that's not too dark, but is suspenseful and is a lot of fun. Alright. Now, next one. This series, I know, has a connection to a lot of people's childhood, and it does mine as well. That's why it's on this list. And this is my favorite out of the entire series. There's 4 films in the series. The most recent one, a lot of people bash on. The second one, a lot of people think is good, but a little too dark. Everyone thinks the first one's the best one, but my personal favorite, I'm not flipping you off, don't worry. My favorite one is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That's right, Last Crusade is my favorite. And no, I'm not just copying off of James Rolfe. This is genuinely my favorite one. This was the first one I saw, and it's the one I always had the most fun with. Don't get me wrong, I love all of them. I love every single Indiana Jones film. I love the first one, second one, third one, and even the fourth one. Yes, I saw the fourth one in theaters. I even saw the first one in theaters in IMAX when they re-released it. But this one has always been the one that I love the most because his chemistry with his dad is, like I said, with Men in Black, it's one of the best chemistries on screen. And there's nothing better than seeing a father-son connection in a movie. It's just something that can't be compared. There's very little movies that can make a father and son duo feel genuine and fun. This movie does it, and I can't recommend this one enough. I know a lot of people may disagree with me on this one being the best one, but that's okay because we all have differing opinions. But as of now, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade is my favorite of the Indiana Jones series. All right, this is a box set of multiple films in the series, but obviously, many people will agree with this one. The first one is the best. It is my favorite. The whole series is really solid. A lot of people dislike the fifth one, but the fifth one's okay too. Obviously, the first and last one are the best, but still, the whole series is a feel-good series that really not many films are matched in terms of just feel-good quality or inspirational. And it's Rocky. This is the Blu-ray set. Mine, by the way, 8, if you're watching this, my set's better than yours. I just want to let you know that. The best one is the first one. It is the ultimate feel-good film. From start to finish, it's a lot of heart, it's a lot of talent, it's a lot of charisma. It's just a great feel-good film. Everything about it just works. Sylvester Stallone is great as Rocky. This is the role he was born to play. Everyone loves the underdog because everyone at some point is the underdog in some way, shape, or form. And it's great that we see the underdog triumph. We never want to see the underdog lose. We want to see the underdog triumph, and that's what this movie encapsulates. While at the end he doesn't necessarily win the fight, but we do see him living his dream, and that's what we all strive for. We all strive for becoming the best, and that's why Rocky is the quintessential inspirational feel-good film, because it captures the emotion that at some point in our lives we all do face. Now, that may have been the best inspirational movie, and definitely his best acting role. But for Sylvester Stallone films, it's not my favorite. No. Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite is Demolition Man. I know this comes with a bunch of other movies, but Demolition Man is my favorite Sylvester Stallone movie. It is the one I always have the most fun with. I know that Rocky is more inspirational, but Demolition Man is just a lot more fun. From start to finish, I just have a blast watching it. It has heart, it has humor, it has great action, great pieces, great effects, great acting too, surprisingly. For a dumb action comedy, this acting is wonderful. I can't get enough of it. I can watch it over and over again. I love Demolition Man. Demolition Man, I feel as though it's one of the most underrated action films. It holds up today, and I feel as though more people need to check it out. I know I didn't rant about that as much as Rocky, but, I don't feel like I need to say much about it. Just more people need to see it and like it. Now, I'm cheating, and it's because I have a trilogy here that it's one of the best trilogies ever. I know a lot of people are probably thinking one trilogy, but you're wrong. For me, this is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. And I couldn't just pick one. I love all three of them evenly. I want to put you on suspense. I'm going to take another drink of water. Water. It's thrilling. It's suspenseful. All three of them have a lot of heart to them. They're all very powerful films. And many of you may not know that won't even see this coming. Well, some people might. They know me. And it's George Romero's Dead trilogy. I'm calling it the trilogy because really these three stand alone. Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead. They aren't a part of this series. They're a part of this series, but they don't have the same feel as these three have. These three are all perfect horror masterpieces. The first one, classic, obviously, may not have the best acting, but you can tell the heart, you can tell the power that went into it. Dawn of the Dead improved on the first one, had the same feel, but had a bit of a sense of humor to it too. I also have the collector's edition of this, by the way, but I didn't feel like pulling that out because I have everything locked up. And Day of the Dead, a much harsher film, a much more real film, a gritty, dark, gory film. All of these are great, fun films. Second one, if someone forced me to say, I'd probably say the second one is my favorite, Dawn of the Dead. But the three are all wonderful, fantastic horror films. These still hold up, people. These are still great horror films. Not just great because of their time period, great because all three of them are just phenomenal to watch. From start to finish, all of these just work so well. And this one has Mike Nelson from MST3K. I had to read down the back just to be sure. And everyone knows MST3K is my favorite show of all time, so that's an added bonus with this edition. And the gore in all three of these films is wonderful. This one may not be the goriest, but it still has good gore in it from what it has. The second one, wonderful. The third one, oh my goodness, one of the goriest films ever out there. And they still hold up for me. I saw them in high school, and to this day, I still love watching them. The first one, I loved how it ended. Like I said, with American Werewolf in London, sometimes you just need a darker ending. And that's why I feel as though Dawn of the Dead having the happier ending worked better for it, because of the way the first one ended. It just needed a happier moment. And that's why they all fit their time period too. 60s, 70s, 80s. They're all wonderful films. And that's why it's my favorite zombie films ever. Anyways, that's part 3 of my top 50 favorite films of all time. Like I said, I don't want to do these tired, because if I'm doing them tired, I'm not giving everyone the video that they deserve. Because if they're willing to watch my videos, they deserve to have a great video to watch. And I know that I don't have many subscribers, but for those of you who do watch my videos, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. Anyways, y'all take care and God bless.